Welcome to Casey Cares, the voice of Kansas City nonprofits. We share the stories of people. Casey Cares, we connect the nonprofit and the business sectors to enhance the quality of life in Kansas City. .org. I'm Ruth Baum-Biggess. Kansas City is home to thousands of behind every successful business is often a strong network of support, resources, and people who believe in their vision. For more than 20 years, the Heartland Black Chamber of Commerce has been doing exactly that. Since 2004, the Chamber has championed the growth, advancement, and long-term success of Black-owned businesses, supporting more than 300 entrepreneurs and organizations representing 65 industries across Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, and Iowa. Today, we're joined by the person leading that important work. Kim Davis is president and CEO of the Heartland Black Chamber of Commerce, and she's here to talk about the Chamber's mission, the impact it's making across our region, and why investing in Black-owned businesses strengthens our entire community. Kim, welcome to Casey Cares.
Thank you. Thank you, Ruth. I am really excited to be a part of your podcast and to talk about my favorite thing, the Heartland Black Chamber of Commerce.
Well, let's give our audience a little bit of history, if you will, when this started, how it started. Share with us.
So the Heartland Black Chamber actually started in KCK. It was KBCC, which was Kansas Black Chamber of Commerce. It started with some businessmen. There was a gentleman named Leroy Toombs who pulled together a group of Kansas businessmen to form a Black Chamber. I think at the time they did not have a chamber. There was a lot of small businesses over there. There was some movement, and they really wanted to get organized. So they began their own chamber. And that was in 2004. By 2011, things had shifted a lot, and they got a new leader, of course, a woman leader. And I don't put down any men, but we tend to lead pretty good. And Crystal Watson took the reign in 2011. And at that time, she started doing some, foundation building and some sustainability, pulling together programs and things like that. And then it was in 2018. Yes, 2018. I had to think about what year it was. Good gracious, the time is going so fast. In 2018, I was on the board of the Heartland Black Chamber. I own my own consulting firm, construction consulting. And the then mayor-elect was David Alvey, and they asked Crystal to join the cabinet. And so Crystal asked me to take it on interim to, find another leader. And somehow, I don't know how that happened, but by September, I was CEO, and I've been there ever since.
Wow, that's amazing. And now Crystal is mayor of Kansas City, Kansas.
Now Crystal is mayor of Kansas City, Kansas. Now I'm hoping that is not the pathway that I'm leading down, because I don't want to be nobody's mayor. But the chamber has been it has been an awesome catapult for many people in business, and Crystal being a perfect example of leadership. That's another thing that this chamber is really focused on, is not just small businesses and growing and sustainability, but doing what chambers do, creating the next generation of leaders. Leadership development is very, very important to us. So being able to look at Crystal and say, this is what we're supposed to be doing.
Now, you said it had its beginnings in KCK. At that time, was it really focused on the community there?
Yes. So what had happened was there was a Missouri Black Chamber and a Kansas Black Chamber, and there's still two chambers. However, Kansas did not have that leadership or that resource that Missouri had. And most of the businesses on the Missouri side, that in 20 years ago, we were still very divided as two cities. Over the last 20 years, we have erased that invisible line and realized that we are one KC. We're two states, but one Kansas City. And so, but what actually happened was during the Ferguson riots, after the Mike Brown situation, the U.S. Black Chamber, which is located in Washington, D.C., which we're members of, um, asked us to consider, going to St. Louis. And well, one of the things was we didn't want to cross over Kansas City. Kansas City didn't want to go into St. Louis, so we became a region. So now we are Heartland Black Chamber Inc., Heartland Black Chamber of Commerce Inc., and we service Missouri, Kansas, Iowa, and Nebraska. And so, right now we are stabilizing and building foundations. So when we go into other regions, we are bringing them a package ready to go. Now, we do have two affiliates. We have one in Wichita, and
Mm-hmm.
we have one in St. Louis, which I was with Crystal when we effectively went to St. Louis and helped them launch a Heartland in St. Louis. And they're doing fine. They're doing real good. So our goal now is to plant satellites and sites around the state of Missouri, around the state of Kansas, and then go into Omaha and all parts of Nebraska, and then work our way to Iowa.
That's a big lift.
Yes. Well, again, we are the Black Chamber. However, we have moved toward the endeavor of bringing all of our businesses together, all of our local businesses together. There is no race or gender or culture, or even religion. We are trying to say, okay, as a chamber, let us work with the small businesses that kind of get left out with the big chambers because they can't afford it. But how do we bring our small and medium businesses together to do American work? And not, a separate type of business. So we really want, we have members that are of all races, of all genders, and we don't make any difference in even the type of business that they're in. We are basically trying to make sure we're being impactful in these communities and understanding that as Americans, we are able to grow and build and sustain.
Yeah, you do have a focus on the Black community, correct?
Yes, yes. Well, and I have to have a focus on the Black community because in order for us to bridge these gaps and bridge these separation, I am very, very focused on being a voice that will obliterate these lines and erase some of these negative um, narratives about
Mm-hmm.
the community, but also open the door for the community to understand what it's going to take for us to be a part of it as well. So, for me, when you say focus on the Black community, yes, I am, but I'm focused on the Black community on the level of understanding business, understanding
Mm-hmm.
the investment that it takes in business and the work that it takes to run a business, and that um, it's not always about being left out. It's sometimes about being inclusive. So sometimes we look at, we're trying to be included, but are we including? And so yes, I am focused on the Black community, but not in the sense that a lot of people see or think that that's what it's all about.
Well, you're shifting the paradigm.
I'm trying. With your help, Ruth, we're going to make this happen.
All right, so let's talk about who are your members, who who can be a member, and then we'll get into what you offer for them.
Okay, so we have our small business, which is small, medium, and executive. We have three levels in the small business category. We have what we call a basic membership. Well, and actually, we're adding two more in the small business, but we have a basic membership, which is these are businesses that some are in ideation, some of them have launched and just haven't done anything. Uh, this basic is we're going to sit down with you and we're going to look at your structure. Where are you? How did you structure? Did you structure properly? Do you have everything that you actually need to be in business? Do you even have a business? And then from there, we're saying 12 to 24 months, we want you to move to the pro membership. The pro membership means that now we've got you set, you've got your entity in place, you got your license in place, you have a bank account, you have set up with either a bookkeeper or an accountant, you've had an opportunity to consult with an attorney, and you understand the entity in which you are, or the industry in which you have chosen. Now you're the pro because now you're ready and you've sold some things, or you've gotten a contract, and you are now looking at, am I certified? And now we're getting into the area of DE&I, which is now gone. So what do we look at? We're looking at disadvantaged business enterprise, which disadvantaged enterprises are anybody. So just like all of our members are not Black. A lot of our members, we have white members, we have Hispanic members. I even have one Asian member, and we have men, women, trans. We have the gamut. And the ideal with that is you're a pro member. We've got you now that we want to make sure that you have the certifications that are required for you to be recognized in some of these places. And then we have the executive level. These are our members that, and our pattern or our membership is set to scale. So we want you to leave the pro membership and go into the executive membership. And the executive memberships are, you've been in business, you've done very well. Now you're ready to level up to the next level, and you want to be in front of our corporate partners. And we know which one of you and what these corporate partners want. So we're putting you in front of the corporate partners that pertain to your business, instead of putting you in a room with a corporation and have no idea of what they buy or what they don't buy, what they need and what they don't need. We're looking at those types of things so that when we put you in front of one of our corporate partners, because they're looking for businesses that are ready to go. They're not interested in having to interview and go through all that. That's what we're supposed to do. That's our executive level. And in 5-10 years, we'd like our executives to go over into our corporate partnership. So that's the next thing. We don't have sponsorships or things like that. We have partners. Our corporate partners are partners that come in, and basically they kind of become a part of our strategic plan. We want to sit down with our partners twice a year and say, this is where we are. These are the impacts we want to make. How do we make this together? Because the things that they bring to the table help us to adjust our programming and how we situate our businesses to be able to scale and grow and do the things. And we don't do 8-week programs, we do 1-year programs. So so we push for a little bit more. And again, like I said, our members are everybody. We make no difference. If you want to learn all these things, and you want to scale your business, you need to understand that business is a continuum. There's always changing. There's things that are happening. We talk about tariffs. We talk about the economy. We talk about interest rates, because a lot of small businesses don't realize that all these things affect who they are. And even though we are not political, and we don't get into candidates, we do talk about issues, and we do research and bring the information back so that our members understand how it is going to affect them and why it's important that they sit down and they meet the candidates that are out there and find out if the candidates are even addressing the issues that concern you.
We're talking with Kim Davis. She is president and CEO of the Heartland Black Chamber that's based in Kansas City, but covers a 4-state region. You mentioned a moment ago that word that now unfortunately probably gotten bad connotation, and that's DEI. So
Yeah.
how are you navigating in this time and age around some of those issues and continue to build up rather than tear down?
So this is really funny, because when I became the CEO in 2018, I had a conversation with a gentleman, Versi Lark. A lot of people know Versi Lark. He is, an amazing gentleman. And he and I used to have conversations. He's one of my mentors. And one of the things I immediately did when we first started restructuring our chamber, our narrative, how we how we were presented, we took minority out of it. We took minority out of it, even though we could not take Black Chamber out because it's part of the name. But we always started, we started way back when talking about inclusive. Uh, we DEI is a misunderstood um, program, and it became a racial program, which it never was. But because it's so easy to drop something in a bucket and leave it there,
Mm-hmm.
that people tend to believe it. So our thought was, okay, let's take it out, let's remove it, and let's stop always trying to be included, and let's start being inclusive. When you start including and asking people to come to your table and to have conversations with you and to come and talk about your solutions instead of you going there trying to push your solutions, it changed the dynamics. Even the conversations that I have with city officials and leaders in the community, including my small businesses, it is not always about going in saying, what can you give me? It's a lot of the times going in saying, this is what I can give you. And so that's how we're battling it. We're not going to go in there and start a whole rally and get into these long-term battles that don't move. The thing is, how do we move the needle, and how do we continue to the movement that was going on? And I mean, it just kind of stalled everything because DEI was doing a good job, but it stalled everything. And what we don't want to happen, DEI included our developmentally disabled. You know, we are
Mm-hmm.
very. I'm very interested in making sure that we are including our developmentally disabled. I look at aging. It dealt with our aging. It dealt with not just cultures or genders, but it dealt with religion. It dealt with everything and making sure that we were being equitable across the board. Well, to me, the best way for us to be equitable is to be that. You be what you want. And so we are really working hard to meet those needs. Like this morning, we have the Waldorf Association comes to our building every Tuesday. They bring all their people, and most of them are white Americans, and they utilize our space for their meetings, and they're becoming members of the chamber. And this is what it's supposed to look like.
With all that said, tell us about some of the events and the programs that your members can take part in.
So, God, we have some great programs. So, last year, when I took this over, when I first came to the chamber, I used to tell them when I was on the board, we need a Toastmasters. We need a Toastmasters. I'm a certified Toastmaster from the 90s. I probably need to go back through again. However, we are now a chapter. We're in our second year. We are the Heartland Black Chamber Toastmasters, chapter 22. And we meet every second and fourth Wednesday. You don't have to be a member of the chamber, although we are adding a new arm to the chamber, which is Heartland Friend or Friend of Heartland Friends, I think it is. And that is going to be individuals. I get a lot of people saying, I don't have a business, but I want to be a part of the chamber. How do I do that? And so one of the ways is through our individual, and then our Toastmasters. You can join Toastmasters, and then most of the members in Toastmasters eventually become, well, they're going to become our individual members, the first set of them. So Toastmasters is one. We do have what we call Reset, which is my favorite. Reset is there's no agenda, there's no theme to it. We find something fun to do, we invite people out, and it's organic networking. It is, you come the way you want to come. We try to have them in the evening. We try to have them in places where if you have kids, they can come and
Mm.
enjoy it. It becomes family friendly, and it eases the tension of trying to meet people. You can sit down and have a cup of coffee or have a drink or whatever it is that we've decided to do, and just have conversation. Our last one, we had game night here at the chamber, And we had everything from card playing to Django to the Connect Four to the corn toss, and everybody really enjoyed it. So we do that quarterly. We also have what we call State of the Chamber. State of the Chamber is where we give pertinent information. We bring in people and we talk about what is happening in and around the chamber. What are the tariffs? How they're affecting you? What are the what's going on in banking? What's going on in the with interest rates? We stay away again from politics or from speaking on any one candidate, but we will talk about issues like we did talk about the gerrymandering and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we have what we call Collide. Collide is one of my favorites. Collide is where, again, there was I did a ribbon cutting this weekend, and one of our members, he's just added an ageless adventures to his daycare. And so it's for adults, and he tagged it Wisdom to Wonder. And we had, when we created Collide was about our seasoned businesses or leaders meeting our new innovative leaders. And instead of having that clash that we're having today, young people like saying the oligarch doesn't want to hear us and we don't want to talk to them. The oligarch saying they're trying to move too fast, but bringing them in a room and having conversation and talking. But we've done some other things with that. And then, of course, we have our fundraisers that come up every year. The next one coming up is our gala in December 12th. And it is basically our funds are raised so that we can continue the programs for our entrepreneurs. I mean, it's just as simple as that. We have to figure out ways to keep the information, the education, the resources, everything that's out there for any business. And I can't reiterate that enough. Any business, the Black Chamber is just the name that where we started, but who we are. It's a lot of days I was like, we are the Heartland American Chamber because we need to look like America.
So collaboration, conversation,
Mm-hmm.
connection.
Yes.
What keeps you up at night? What do you feel are your greatest challenge or challenges, and how are you trying to address those?
I think our greatest challenge, mine that I see, I mean, I've been around a while. And without telling my age, I'll say this: the history of and the pain and the hurts that people are still carrying that keep them from moving forward. It's probably my biggest challenge. Getting
Mm.
us to understand that we've got to forgive the past and not forget it, not ever forget it, but forgive it and move forward. And we have to also open our hearts and our hands to receiving others in. That way, I think that's my biggest challenge. A lot of times people look at me and on both sides, on any side, on all sides, it's like, nah, that's never going to happen. And I can't stop believing that it won't. I think a lot about the 7 days of kindness. Um, if people thought about that and then really acted on that, the game changer is being kind to someone and someone you don't know, someone that you don't have to be kind. Do something for somebody that they don't even know it came from you, and you'll feel it a lot different. And so that's the biggest challenge I feel is just getting people to let go and trust. And then if we have hiccups, and we will, uh, not everybody's going to be perfect. Not everybody's going to accept us. But it doesn't mean we stop. It doesn't mean we give up. We just keep pushing forward. So, yeah.
Where do you see the chamber in the next 5 to 10 years with the speed of technology and AI and all the crazy in the world?
You know, which is really interesting. I uh, I attended the Kansas City Bio Hub yesterday. The big announcement. We were part of the consortium when they first went out, and I'm so proud of them for what they've done. Where I see the chamber, it's right in the thick of everything. A part of all of the changes and all of the things that are happening. I see the chamber being not just in it, but being a part of it and being invested in it. That's what I see. I see more investment coming out of the chamber um, in 10 years. I think we'll be able to meet and beat some of the investments, and then finding talent, being a part of the movement.
That seems to be a challenge for everybody.
It
I'm
is.
not sure, coming out of the pandemic,
Yeah.
there were some statistics someone had told me about in the last few months about the number of people that are not working, some probably by circumstance, but some by choice.
Yeah.
So how do you tackle that?
Well, the thing is, and what I'm finding, I laugh because sometimes I'm going out and I'm driving in the city for a meeting or driving around, and I don't care what time of day it is, it's like traffic everywhere. And I'm like, I remember a time when, you had your 7, 8 o'clock rush hour. And then if you left by 6, you're pretty good. And if you left after 9, you were pretty good. But now you can leave at any time, and it's like rush hour for 24-hour rush hour. And it's because a lot of people are working from home if they're working at all. And because I can get on my cell phone and take a meeting and be in the Costco on a
Yeah.
meeting, people are out. I don't know. I don't know how we're going to meet or beat that. I hear a lot of these big corporations coming in with data centers and battery plants and all these things, and 2,000, 4,000, and 6,000 jobs and 8,000 jobs. And I'm thinking, but these people don't want to go into a plant and work. How are we going to fulfill those jobs? And that's going to be an interesting thing. Yeah.
Well, you're going to work on it. Where is the best place for people to find out information about what you all are doing?
The best place to go is to our website, which is www.heartlandblackchamber.com. You can also give us a call at area code 913-948-7680, or stop by our office anytime Monday through Friday. We're usually here from 9 to 5 on weekdays, and except Fridays. Fridays, we're here from 9 to 1. And we're at 9100 Ward Parkway, Kansas City, Missouri, 64114.
But you're regional, so everybody remember that. Just because it's a 913 phone number, a Kansas City, Missouri address, it's all 4 states. So
it's all 4 states.
Spread the love. Kim,
Absolutely.
Thank you for spending time with us and sharing everything about the chamber and your great work. You're doing amazing things, and we wish you continued success and to come back some other time and share what else is new.
Well, thank you for having us. And I just want to throw out there, come to our podcast, which is Straight from the Heart. And we're on YouTube, we're on YouTube and what's the Spotify. So
there you go.
And we do have a website, so you can look us up on the website. But Ruth, it's a pleasure to meet you and to have met you and gone through this 7 Days of Kindness, and then to be on your show. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. And thank you for joining us for Casey Cares. We're Kansas City's nonprofit voice, and we're produced by a nonprofit, Charitable Communications. This Casey Cares segment was brought to you by the Ewing Marion Kaufman Foundation, www.kaufman.org. Now, if you'd like to be a guest on the podcast or want to know more about the work we're doing, go to our website, which is kccaresonline.org. And spread the love. You'll find us on Facebook at Casey Cares Radio and Instagram at Casey Cares Online. And don't forget, Saturday mornings at 8 a.m., you can catch us on ESPN 1510 a.m. and 94.5 FM. Thank you for joining us on Casey Cares.